Hello everyone. So it was just announced that the new DLC for Dead by Daylight is going to be licensed. And so me and my friend Swingity Swing Swing today are going to be speculating how an Alien DLC could work in Dead by Daylight. So I know a lot about Dead by Daylight, but I haven't seen that much of Alien, and my friend Swingity Swing Swing knows a lot about Alien, but hasn't seen that much of Dead by Daylight. So this is gonna work almost like a podcast, and at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about future Dead by Daylight content on this channel, but not right now because these intros are always too long. So enough of me rambling. Let's move on to more of us rambling. Should we start?
Alien is a Russian company that owns and maintains passenger services and moored vessels in and around St. Petersburg. The company operates 22 boats, including hydrofoils, and 3 mass frigates Kronbergs, maintained as a restaurant. The company has been operating since October 1999. As a result of the 2008 to 2009 Russian financial crisis and changes in the economy during 2008 and 2009, the company has been compelled to look for new investment opportunities.
Is that real?
Yes.
I was talking about the movie.
The movie's real. I just decided to give a definition of the alien shipping company.
Okay. So typically, every DLC has one killer, one survivor, and one new map. So if they were gonna add a killer, it'd have to be the alien, right?
Yes.
Can you describe to me like what powers he has, like what abilities he displays in the series?
He hops out of your chest and kills you.
Anything else?
And also he has a mouth inside of his mouth and a spiky tail. He is also a man in a rubber suit.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. The movie's from the 70s.
Oh, well. Okay. Fair point. Anything else, or is that all?
It has multiple phases of birth.
What?
Where first it's an egg, then it's a face hugger, then it's a chest burster, then it's a xenomorph, and then it's dead.
Okay, so each killer has their own power. I mean, this is never gonna happen, but if it could send like face leechers after you, that'd be pretty cool. But that's not gonna happen. And if this takes us a while, if this takes us a while to think of something, maybe we can just cut it out. But
Yeah.
in your personal opinion, which of those do you think would make the best ability in Dead by Daylight?
If they do Alien Queen, they'll probably just have its ability to throw face huggers at people.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be cool.
yeah, maybe.
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I mean, it could blind them, but there's a killer called the clown that already blinds people. Well, not blinds them, but distorts their vision.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it could be ability where like the face huggers or whatever, they don't leech on until like he has to hit them first, kind of like how Freddy has to hit people to make them fall asleep. This person would also have to hit people in order to activate his ability, or like how the Oni needs to hit people in order to activate his ability. And then once he hits them, maybe then the face leecher gets on, and it slowly starts taking up space on their screen until it covers up the entire space. And maybe it'll have some other effect, like slowing down movement speed or something. And maybe they have to... Is there any way to get the face leecher off? Because maybe they could get it off in similar fashion to like the pig or the plague or something like that. Is there any way to get
Well, the
it?
thing about the face clippers is that if you try to cut their limbs off, it had acid blood and will melt your face off, and if you struggle against it, it just holds on tighter.
Okay. Oh, so maybe instead of making you run slower, I mean, running could be like struggling, so maybe that, if you like run too much, something will happen. That could be part of the ability, because that most of the killers these days are kind of similar. I feel like the Oni was basically just a hillbilly. So, I don't want it to be too similar. I know you don't really understand what I'm talking about, but I mean, I think that could work. I think that'd be interesting. It's a little far-fetched.
Stranger Things one is basically the xenomorph.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far-fetched that we're going to get a sci-fi related killer because, like you said, the Demogorgon's in, and also the Doctor's in. If you read their backstories or if you watch the Stranger Things show, you know they're not actually from the future. And I don't know if the Doctor counts as a sci-fi character, but the Demogorgon definitely counts, so it's possible to have a sci-fi character.
Stranger Things and Aliens have a lot of similarities.
Yeah. Because Stranger Things is based off, like, old movies like E.T. and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so I think we have a semi-solid idea for a killer. We could discuss perks and add-ons, but that heavily requires you to watch the movies, which I haven't done. And I don't think it'll be possible to discuss perks and add-ons in this video, but maybe in the future we can make a more in-depth version with, like, perks, add-ons, or... Oh, you know what we probably could discuss is its Mori. So every killer has, like, their own, like, killing animation.
Probably the chest burster.
Yeah.
It's the most iconic kill in the franchise.
Okay, yeah, so that'd be it. New map. What are the major... What?
It's either going to be the Nostromo or LB-426.
Are those, like, ships?
The Nostromo is the ship, and LB-426 is the planet that Aliens takes place on. Probably need the Nostromo, though.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Probably one of the coolest maps we have in the game. I feel like if it took place in space, it would mess with the lore a little bit, but no one really cares about lore. So, or at least in Dead by Daylight, so. And maybe, like, as a mechanic, you could, like... Okay, this is never gonna happen, but, like, there'd be doors that you could, like, you know, control panel doors that you could open and close or something. I don't know. That's probably not gonna happen, but...
Yeah.
Alright. So... Survivor. Are they any what are the major protagonists?
Ripley.
Who?
Ripley.
Okay. I feel like we have to discuss perks. Do you know what perks are?
I can assume what their perks are. They add-on special abilities?
No,
Your killer stronger?
No, those are add-ons. Add-ons make your, they modify a killer's ability, or they modify an item if it's a survivor. I think we'll have to maybe save perks for another video. I mean, if you guys want, we can make a more in-depth video with, like, perks and add-ons, and maybe even, like, the chase theme it's gonna have or whatever.
I think the best thing is if they add the cat as survivor.
Add who? You're breaking up.
There's a cat in Alien. They should make the cat the survivor.
Yeah.
I think that the cat's the only character that survives all the Alien movies.
Wait, it's in all of them?
No, it's not in all of them, but I think it's the only one that survives. Cause
Okay.
it survives the first one. It
Spoiler
survives the second
warning.
one.
I'm gonna have to
Isn't in the third one.
Yeah.
No one likes the fourth one.
Yeah. The thing about adding one of those maps to the game, though, is generators on those maps would actually make a lot of sense, I feel like.
Yeah.
And just to confirm our killer idea, you have to hit them. Once you do, it'll take off, it'll take up screen space slowly, and maybe some other negative effect. And it gets worse if you run, which is similar to struggling, and you have to go to like some special station to get it off. And I mean, hopefully that's not too similar to like the pig or the plague or something, but I think if they added some other effect besides taking up screen space, like I don't know, do they like do anything?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention for the past 30 seconds.
Because I was just repeating myself. That's fair. Oh no, okay. I mean, maybe it could kill you if it was on you for too long, but that would just make it even more similar to the pig. So.
Yeah.
Maybe to make it.
Since Scorn was recently announced for the Xbox Project X or whatever it is, the Xbox Big Box Boy, and Scorn is basically an 8-card Geiger game. There's either a high chance or a low chance of them doing Alien, because Scorn has a lot of attention now.
Okay. Yeah, so if they're releasing a new Alien game, that could hint at...
It's not releasing a new Alien game, it's just a game that's based off of Alien concept art.
Oh, okay. Maybe something from that could make it in. But, I mean, usually they get licenses from movies and not licenses from other games, with the exception of Bill.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense for, like, if they were to get a license for, like, Resident Evil, like, why would you want someone to play like parts of your game in another game? Like, that just doesn't make that much financial sense. But Alien is a movie, and maybe they could take something from what you were talking about.
Maybe it's Predator, because Predator Hunting Grounds came out recently.
Yeah, maybe they could add Predator to Dead by Daylight. What?
Predator Hunting Grounds came out lately, and Predator and Alien share a movie together, or 2 movies together.
Oh, yeah. Wait, they do?
So they could do Alien.
Wait, which movies?
Alien versus Predator and Alien versus Predator 2.
Oh, so kind of like the Jason versus Freddy thing.
Yeah. Except it was based on the comic book.
Okay, well, I think we're about done here. This was just or anything else you want to say, or do you think we've got a solid DLC? Or solid for what we came up with off the top of our heads anyway?
I want the doggo Alien.
Okay.
And Alien 3 is the doggo.
Yeah. Other than that, you think we're done? Or you got any? Hello everyone, this is Editor Undead Gamer, and I just wanted to say a few things before you leave the video. In the description, I'm going to explain the future of Dead by Daylight content on my channel, which killers I've unlocked, which ones I don't have unlocked, which survivors I've unlocked, which ones I don't have unlocked. Also, I'm aware that I basically just buffed the pig and called it the alien. My solution to this is maybe it could work like this instead, so the alien can throw out or send facehuggers at people, and once the face hugger is latched on, it activates after a certain amount of time. And once it activates, you can get it off by not performing rushed actions or not running for a certain amount of time. But if you do run or perform rushed actions, like vaulting, it would take up more screen space and eventually take up the entire screen. And once it does so, maybe like a teammate could get it off. That way it's counterable. And Swingity Swing Swang was talking about earlier how the blood, like from the face hugger, causes it to like melt your face or something. So maybe if a teammate helped another teammate get it off, both those survivors would be affected with like deep wounds or something. I don't know. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Huge shout out to my friend Swingity Swing Swang.